Hola, ¿qué tal? Bienvenidos a Interview. Soy John Garavito y me encuentro con el cineasta George Nicholas y con el actor Gustavo Cruz. A partir de ahora estaremos hablando en inglés, así es que por favor les pido pongan ahí en las funciones subtítulos para que nos entendamos, sobre todo a mí. Hi, George. Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, John. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Hi, Gustavo. Please tell us about that picture, that movie called Límite. What the people will see and this project. I mean, about the story. George, please.
So Límite is it's a 40-minute film, un mediometraje, as it's
Yeah.
called in Mexico. It's about Manuel, who is a 16-year-old kid who lives in Tijuana with his grandfather, and he meets some people that lead him down a dangerous path, and he ends up at the border with two bottles of liquid meth that he tries to get across the border.
And also, this character is performed by Gustavo.
Yeah.
How was it? I mean, because the movie, the film, when you watch it, it's like be like a real persons living there. It seems like a documental or something like that. How was it that process, Gustavo, for you?
Well, it was pretty complicated because at the beginning I thought it was like in the audition I thought it was like some sort of romantic story. It was just the scene between Carla and me, and then I read all the script and I was so shocked about the story. So the first thing that I thought it was like, okay, I need to learn more about Cruz Marcelino, and not just about him, but about like more people with more stories. And I took like a day or 2 days to read about all that stories. So I just wanted to make sure I was going to be able to perform Manuel with so much respect, and with just like with respect and understanding about the his decisions, or all that kind of stuff that he does in the movie. Just not to judge him, but to understand him, and being able to I don't know, like, yeah, understand him. So let's leave it there. Yeah. So I had to make sure about make it with the more respect and love with the character.
George, I have been reading about it, where you take the inspiration for this story is amazing. Could you tell us, please?
Yeah, so the film is inspired by a real event that occurred in 2013 when Cruz Marcelino Acevedo, who was 16 years old at the time, tried to cross the border with two bottles of liquid meth. And the border agents, instead of testing the liquid for drugs, because they suspected that he was carrying drugs, they asked him to drink it to prove that it's what he said he was. He said it was apple juice. So that was the inspiration, and that's when I saw the footage. There's archival footage of this incident. I knew that I wanted to explore this in a film.
Of course, he died lamentably, but then what
Yes.
happened with his family in relation with the government?
Yeah, so Cruz Acevedo died a few hours after he drank the liquid. The family then sued Customs and Border Protection, and they won $1 million settlement. We haven't been able to find the family. We really wanted to show the film to them since it honors their son, but we haven't been able to find them yet. I would love for them to see the film.
Gustavo, how was to make that story, thinking about the past, thinking about that story, that real story, and also that is one of a many stories that unfortunately happened and still happens.
Yeah, well, it was like complete pressure about um, me being the voice in this movie about these victims, not just Cruz Marcelino, but many people that has died in these situations. So it was like so much pressure on me, but I knew I could do it, and fortunately I had George as my director, and he told me all that stuff that I needed to know, like uh, things like the respiration, or all this stuff, all these things that, well, he used a lot of his life experience in this film. So he we talked about it, and I think it was like building about the real life events, Cruz Marcelino's tragedy, and uh, so much of George life experiences, and my understanding about teenage life. So yeah, I think that's basically how I built Manuel.
George, this film talks about growing up, about friendship, about decisions, also about discrimination, migration, and bad decisions. How to get all things and making in a script and making a movie.
I think I mean, me personally, I started with the inspiration, and that was, this incident, and then I thought, okay, what were the circumstances, or what could have led that teenager, or maybe any teenager, to this dangerous situation? And the way I came to the answer, or to my attempt at an answer, is just to put myself in those circumstances, and to imagine that I had grown up in Mexico, and maybe my grandfather was the one who was looking after me, because my own grandfather was looking after me in Bulgaria in the 90s, when Bulgaria was very similar to Mexico today. So these topics and these things, they come naturally, I think, or they came naturally to me as I was building the story, because there were many teenage sort of experiences that I wanted to put in. Obviously, teenagers are very influenced by their friends, and of course I wanted there to be a girl in the movie, because that's also another thing that teenagers care about, and sort of make their decisions based on, like what's going to be liked, or what's going to be popular, and so on. So it was just all of these things that were in my mind, and spilled onto the page, and with Gustavo's help and all the other actors, we were able to make them into a movie.
Gustavo, how was the process of filming? How was that experience? Because it was only in a week, right?
Yeah. Well, it was it was like there was a lot of exigence, I think. It was pretty crazy, you know. The first day of filming was the last scene in the boarding crosser. So yeah, it was like the hardest day for me. Like, well, it was the first day of shooting, and it was the last scene, the scene where Manuel the drinks this liquid methamphetamine. So it was pretty hard for me, but fortunately George helped me a lot with the direction of the emotions and the actions that Manuel did that time. So yeah, the next days were like so much easier. It was complicated too, but it was like, okay, the rest is for fun, you know. It's like, okay, the rest is just like the previous story. We got the most important uh, part in the first day, so yeah, it was like, okay, I'm more like calm about it. But yeah, it was still some sort of pressure or yeah, pressure, but with myself, you know, like, oh, I need to make this good. I was like just like that all that shooting days.
George, what's the meaning, the message that you want to share with the people? What the people go to watch the movie and thinking about what?
Well, we've showed the film in many festivals so far, and the reaction I often get from the audience is, just they're surprised to learn that, these kids or these people who they read about in the newspaper often are, most likely victims and not the criminals themselves. It's, the criminal is sitting somewhere safe while someone like Manuel or Cruz Acevedo is making the dangerous trip across the border. So really, it's a surprise, and I'm hoping that the audience walks away with a feeling that this could happen to anyone, and anyone can be pushed in the right way or in the wrong way to end up in a situation like this, depending on the circumstances. So that, to me, is the goal of the film, and what I hope people walk away with is a feeling that this could happen to them or to their loved one.
And finally, when Límite will be on theaters, on cinemas?
So we're finishing our festival run right now, and we have our Mexican premiere on November 14th in Mexico City. And after that, we're hoping that the film finds a home, maybe on a streaming platform or somewhere else where people can watch it from home, and it can reach a wide audience. That's our hope.
Excellent. Congratulations for the project, for you, George, for you, Gustavo, and for all the team that you make that project that is with emotional. It's emotional. It's like exactly like watch it, and after you think about it, you think about other things, other topics, and the people, of course, that watch Límite certainly will have another opinion, a special opinion, because it's like take your emotions and take your feelings and make something special. Congrats, George.
Thank you very much, John.
Thank you for your time, and see you here in Mexico for the premiere.
Please come November 14th.
Yeah.
Of course, and all the people too, and going to the cinemas and enjoy it. Gracias.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Gracias.
Gracias.
No te pierdas la mejor información de espectáculos y entretenimiento. Suscríbete a este canal, compártelo, déjame un like y tus comentarios.